Profiting off of political campaigning, that's what my new reporting reveals Melania Trump has done. The former First Lady has been rarely seen on the campaign trail for her husband this cycle, but one of the times she has appeared at a political event, she received a six-figure paycheck. It was back in April when she was paid more than $237,000 to speak at a Log Cabin Republicans event in Palm Beach. But what remains unclear is who exactly cut that highly unusual check. Kate Anderson Brower, author of the book First Women, joins us now for perspective and context. Great to see you. So you've written extensively about America's modern first ladies. How outside the norm is it for the presidential candidate's spouse and former first lady to receive a substantial speaking fee like this during a campaign?
Well, I think your reporting is really interesting because of the timing. It's not unusual for a former first lady to earn six figures speaking. But it is unusual during a campaign season. And then for us not to understand where the money is coming from is also very unusual. So it's the timing of this that's interesting. But ever since, Gerald Ford became a former president, we've been having former presidents and first ladies cashing in on their level of fame.
Yeah, and she has many different business ventures at the moment, including this book that she has written, this memoir. And we're seeing these videos that she's just putting out piecemeal leading up to the release of her book. I think we have a clip to play of that.
The loud knocking on my door sent a jolt through my body. The Secret Service agent told me I need to move. Safety was paramount, not just for me, but for the president and all of the other residents in the White House. The violent protest across the country had finally reached Pennsylvania Avenue.
What is your take on all of this?
I think it's really interesting to see her sort of de facto campaigning at this point, right? We're seeing her, she hasn't been on the campaign really much at all. I mean, she was only at the RNC that one night and she didn't even speak. And for Melania, a lot of it is about making money, right? And this book is already doing very well. It's not out for several weeks. And then releasing these little tidbits very dramatically on X, I think is interesting. And I think her questioning, like the Secret Service, her husband, the assassination attempts of her husband, it's kind of peddling a little bit in the conspiracy theories that he endorses. And I think that it's interesting to see this side of her. She's so mysterious. Nobody knows what she's really thinking.
That is absolutely true, and you call it de facto campaigning, but what it stands out to me is that it's for her benefit, right? As you said, this book she stands to benefit from in terms of the proceeds and including the other business ventures and that appearance fee. And we just learned that Fox News will air an interview with Melania Trump on Thursday about her book. This will be her first television interview this campaign cycle. If you were interviewing her, what would you want to ask? What do you want to know?
Oh my gosh, I have so many questions for Melania. I mean, I think that there has been this feeling that she's not 100% behind her husband and his policies. And I want to know, where does she stand on things like transgender military bans and the Supreme Court nominations? I mean, you see her doing things with Log Cabin Republicans, lesbian and gay groups. And where does she personally think about that community? Is she socially liberal? Where does she stand on abortion and issues like that? And first ladies will not tell you this, but I think there's a lot of interest in if there's any daylight between her and her husband, and we just don't know.
And it's interesting, in sources I talk to, they all say that Melania has huge sway and influence over Donald Trump. And as one source said, she is a sort of a timeless asset for him. So I think understanding her thinking on those points of view, those issues are really important.